Leon, where's your current location?
The Kennedy Report, Chapter 2. In my travels, I discovered a girl named Ashley, who was being kept prisoner? Or maybe a guest, in the church where I met the religious leader. It turns out that, like me, Ashley had been impregnated, forcibly by the creatures that roam this European puebla. But unfortunately, there wasn't time to sit and chat, because our conversation with the religious leader was interrupted by a new enemy. On our way comfortably out through the church, we were ambushed by a pirate force. I took Ashley and ran as fast as I could. It was strange that she was here, but according to her, she was on spring break here. It wouldn't have bothered me to take her in the first place if she hadn't mentioned that she knows where a rather popular Sephora was. She became a main priority target, seemingly by everyone in the area. Along the way, I meet back up with Lewis and defend our position in a small cabin. Cozy, romantic. Unfortunately, no bearskin rug for us. And after the battle, he left. The door to Sephora was blocked, and only a rectal scanner could scan the ass of someone to unlock it. I soon found out it was the ass of the pirate captain himself. As generous as he was to me, he had to go, because generosity pales in comparison to good makeup. I took him down and got my ass and his ass out, literally, and was finally about to make it to Sephora. We made our way into the Sephora, but were now trapped inside of it, because even though the pirates now had no way in, we had no way out.
Sounds bad. I have an idea, Leon. I need you to...
What? Repeat, Hunnigan. Great. Just my luck.
This mission seems to be getting more complicated by the minute. But at least I can look good while solving it.
I arrived at a very fancy-looking Sephora. And, to put it bluntly, this level sucks. I broke all of the boxes and received no ammo, so I reloaded 4 times, but received the same exact items. I'm guessing many boxed items are preset, or do not randomize upon reload. So, with my new shotgun ammo in hand, I walked through the weirdest Sephora I've ever seen. Must be from an older time. It wasn't long before I ran into my most horrifying enemy yet. Religious Karens. From one look at them, I knew they had stolen all the makeup they could find after being denied a coupon as consolation for something that they were completely at fault for. So of course their only course of action was to make a scene for everyone, since they just couldn't follow the rules. What they could do was bottle up their hair pieces and fire it like a cannon, and crash down on us from above. I wasn't backing down. I grabbed Alice, or whatever her name was, and went off in search of the manager, who no doubt needed rescuing. This part wasn't hard, just tedious. I trapped the nonsensical sweater off for protection, and ran off back and forth while cranking the cannon upward. When I fired, it despawned the Karens and paved my path onward. What came next was the first actual roadblock in my journey. This room is shiitake mushrooms. A call from Hunnigan was cut off because the Karens refused to fund any cell towers nearby, thinking it could spread viruses or tracking software by foreign countries, which is so funny because they still use Facebook. So the point of this room is to grab the wall swords and swap them, right? Simple. Except when you have half a magazine and no ammo in sight. So I promised I'd use no more than 1 bullet. Well, here's where the problem started. I did a trial run, shooting as many as I could, no ammo. And sweater weather got grabbed. Guess what? On console, there's no sensitivity slider, so I had literally no choice but to watch them walk out the door with her. I was devastated. so devastated that I couldn't fathom the idea of just walking out the door I came in and chasing them. No, she was absolutely gone for good. The same shit continued to persist, even if I used my ammo and still got nothing back. And that's when I made a huge mistake. I was testing an idea that if I left, maybe the enemies would reset or despawn. So I exited the room mid-fight and entered again. Not only had they done neither of those mentioned outcomes, they were directly at the door and struck me dead. That's fine. No biggie. I'll restart the fight for the 8th time, right? No. Absolutely not. The checkpoint system is room by room, mostly. So it respawned me in the middle of the enemies again. There was literally no way out without healing and taking hits. So guess what? I restarted the level from my last save. Before the cannon part. This time, I cheated. I purchased a handgun and decided to use the copious amounts of ammo in my inventory to kill everything I can, just to see if anything would drop ammo, any at all. I figured it's fine, since I already passed this part without cheating, so the reset isn't a fail. Well, guess what?
Oh, no.
Killed everything. No ammo at all. So I entered the sword room again to take another crack at it. This time, I bought the free laser gun as well to see if I could get anyone to drop ammo here, since about 10 enemies show up in total. Although I was hoping they'd be infinite since the red Karen wasn't killed yet. On the second try, I got one, and only one enemy to drop 5 bullets. So it was around 15 enemies, give or take, and 1 drop for hand cannon ammo. I was packed to the brim with this stuff in the last save. What the hell happened? I expected this to be mildly challenging, not a pain in the ass Kennedy. Here's where I failed the challenge fully. I kept shooting things with the laser gun to test the ammo drop, and finally, after finding just 5 bullets, I just let that be the time to continue. Meaning in the official run progression, I killed enemies with something other than the hand cannon, of my own accord. But believe me, it gets worse. It gets way worse. Lewis exits from the door right behind us, excited for Sephora, until he realizes he left his phone behind.
What?
How is he going to use the makeup testers for an Instagram
I
story
must have
now?
dropped it when I was running away from them.
Actually, I don't actually know if there's testers in Sephora, like there is in, like, Victoria's Secret or something. I just kind of wanted to ruffle some feathers. Anyway, this part is easy. I just run ahead and use only a couple shots. Had to waste one saving Ashley, though. Didn't know they could get her from here. I really should have just put her in that damn armor. We arrive to the entrance of Sephora, and the imprisoned store manager shows up, who warns us of what the Karen's plans are. He's joined by 2 captors, while he speaks as much as they allow. Before long, the robed captors drag him away as he imparts the last thing the Karen said to him before enacting their takeover.
You can give us the girl because you're not worth a penny, I'm afraid. You can die.
I'm never turning into one of them! Never!
So I find a way into a prison for naughty girls and find the disabled janitor locked up. Seriously, what kind of monsters hurt the disabled janitor? They're like the best people, and everyone should appreciate their janitors ASAP. I freed him immediately, but he became aggressive, trying to get something off of his back. It was at this moment I knew the Karens had used their negativity to turn people into them. They truly were parasitic. I picked up my gun and fired, dropping the poor guy in one shot. I stood over him and picked up 3 years' worth of his salary, or 1 month of content creation, off his corpse. The rest of the area consisted of Karens not knowing how to throw dynamite, and Ashley's incompetence leading to a sick-ass triple kill. I walked through the doors and entered the bane of my existence. Fuck this place. This room made me quit the challenge, restart it from the beginning, and then continue the original run. It also ended with me cheating and failing again, but oh boy, did I pay a price for it. During the entire half hour of just being in this room, give or take, I, for the first time, hated Resident Evil 4. The inconsistent drop rate showed here, because after failing repeatedly, I decided to just pull out the laser gun and fire one shot at all of them. It was heavenly and therapeutic. And what more? One of the enemies dropped ammo, and so did a vase. I had confirmed ammo can drop, but it wasn't obtained in an allowable way. So I took one mournful look at the reason I'm suffering so much and reloaded the save, losing 15 bullets in the process. I actually burst into tears rewatching the footage of me wasting these bullets. Because in the end, I still had to cheat to progress. But not before I restarted the challenge from Chapter 1-1 with the 65 bullets I had from my previous round and taking out all weapons, even the special launcher. I didn't get far into it before realizing that I don't think I can play the game this way anymore. And if I progressed, it would be from the current save. Not to mention, I didn't get any hand cannon ammo because I'm certain the majority of the village is dedicated to handgun and shotgun ammo. I reloaded the original run and ran all the way back to the merchant to test drop rates again. I decided to buy a useless gun. And then I left, and I was greeted by two Karens. The first one I killed dropped mine darts, so I reloaded. He dropped mine darts again. I repeated this over and over without even using the mine thrower. I would get TMP ammo and darts, but no handgun or hand cannon. So I gave up. I took out all the weapons except for the Red 9 and the hand cannon and got back to the Room of Doom. I just shot the infinite Karen generator with the Red 9 to see if any would drop ammo. They didn't. I failed the challenge again because of this. However, shooting enemies with a handgun's base damage on professional was punishment enough. So with that, and the 15 bullet loss, I'd say I've paid for my transgressions. I waste some ammo helping the idiot and leave. The only fun time I had with this segment was this one clip where Leon got hit and Ashley just gave him some bombastic fucking side-eye. I was actually dead inside. Anyway, I exited the water room, forever damning me to remember this event whenever I see it next. Ashley was trying to walk ahead of me, so I told her I was gonna find the makeup first, because I ate, and she ain't. She got upset, so upset, that she coughed up blood, pushed me, and tried to get a head start. One of the angry white lady capture machines decided to work. and after an interesting amount of jiggle physics for someone in a wool sweater, spun her around, separating us, allowing for peace and quiet.
I'm coming!
The manager ends up calling me to warn me that my companion could be susceptible to traps, but she would be fine, as they'll keep her company while she waits. I take an alternate route through the maintenance area and come across the animals that get products tested on them by makeup companies. I couldn't bring myself to hurt them, so I get my ass out of there quick as hell. No ammo use, no damage. I'm even able to pick up 5 rounds along the way, too. I go over to customer service to see if anyone can get some assistance for me, but I get shot with an arrow through a vase. I took some hits and was gonna reload, but I got bullets from a vase. I told myself I wouldn't heal and whatever happens, happens, and... well, this happens. I took more hits than I'd like, but I'm not going back now. And so I push on. I get a perfect shot on the red Karen, and completely miss, because Leon is unable to hold a gun properly. I think I can handle a firearm better than him, and I barely even held one. Karen runs away from responsibilities as usual, and I'm forced to try again when she runs away again. I shoot the red barrel, but of course I have to waste more ammo on the one I didn't kill. I took aim from afar, and another Karen came out of the woodwork. I know this is almost a 20-year-old game, but this HD remaster is only 8. Aiming should not be this miserable when it's the thing you do more than anything else. I land a hit, but it's not enough, and I'm unable to make a second hit. I run away for no reason, and when going back to the first floor, I see the reaction a Karen has when customer support does their job properly, but the result isn't to the Karen's liking. Thankfully, I avoid taking a single hit here, and one shot takes her down fully. My toil isn't done yet. I moved on to the next section of customer service, and the manager is hauled out again to reveal some irritating news. Apparently, Ashley wasn't just on spring break here. Her involvement in the Sephora's development made her a co-owner of it. And she has keys to a secret section with only the best makeup. That's why the Karens wanted her. The manager said he heard that once the Karens have her, they'll be the managers. And then all the shoppers would become... Before he could continue, we were ambushed. The manager ran, and I had to as well. I conserved some ammo here thanks to the rocket launcher Karens. I used some health items though, and was a bit worried about that. And because the crossbows run when you get close, something that annoys me to no end normally, was finally useful now, as I could run and they wouldn't fire at me. Without much trouble, I book it through the door and continued on my journey, walking past a secret area only Ashley could help me into. Interesting. I found myself near a hedge maze, no doubt constructed to keep boyfriends entertained while their partners shopped. Before I enter it, the manager is relieved by my survival.
Mr. Kennedy, still alive, I see.
And insists more danger is ahead.
Even I get lost here.
At first, I ignored him. How much could hedges hurt someone? Until the manager reminded me of Over the Hedge. And I was the human. From that point on, I was terrified. It wasn't long before I stumbled upon true horror. The Karens had all caged up their pit bulls they promised didn't bite, but they looked mighty angry. Turns out, the dogs don't bite. They were all named Princess for some reason, but they sprouted Karen-site tentacles
and smacked you around the way the Karens do with their kids, because that's not abuse. It's just discipline. Well, I dodged almost all their attacks and made a mad dash towards the door, being saved by the power of cutscenes. That was when I was stopped by the only person who could match my pretty. A femboy.
Long time no see.
Last time I saw her, she got bottom surgery in Raccoon City and tossed down her new giant schlong for me to use against a tyrant. The tyrant was so confused by the idea of pronouns, he exploded immediately.
About what?
Turns out she was live streaming the whole time and was confronted by her highest donator, Albert Wesker, who offered her a job.
I see.
The last time I'd heard of Wesker, he was trying to imprison skinny, naive men and turn them into hunks. But now he had changed tactics. We love an adaptable king who changes with the times. But now, Secret Agent Hadadong was approaching me, wanting to make up for herself and Wesker.
See you around.
Ada!